Hello, Ruby here. If you are new to this channel, I'm professional psychic, tarot reader, archetypal astrologer, big lover and collector of tarot and oracle. And I recently purchased a few oracle decks that I am so in love with. The artwork is stunning, really unique decks, but I did not purchase them in time to work with them enough for them to show up on my top oracle decks of 2023 list. If I had purchased them just a little bit earlier, they very well could have been on that list. So, I'm too excited to wait to share them with you. So I thought, why not film a little decks I'm working with for the month of December video. If you like this type of content, if you would like to know what decks I'm working with on a monthly basis, I'm happy to turn this video into a more reoccurring thing. So just let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. I also want to say before I jump into, really talking about the decks that I'm working with this month, that I do have some construction going on in my apartment complex. It's been going on forever. It's so annoying. I'm hearing the construction guys around today. So I just want to apologize for any noises or interruption as I'm filming. Unfortunately, I do not have the equipment to really edit these videos and make them just like super amazing in terms of like quality and like editing and all of that. So that might come in the future as this channel grows. So like and subscribe if you want if you want a channel glow up. I'm not quite there yet. And truly apologies if there's any annoying noises in the background while I film. So like I said, we're going to talk about the decks I'm working with for December. I'm coming back into my practice after taking some time away due to just burnout, and I still want to film a video on spiritual burnout as time allows. That's still on my list. There's lots of videos that I want to make for you all as I have the time in my schedule. So the first deck that I'm going to share with you is the Laputin Oracle. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's going to be how I pronounce it. And if I'm making a fool out of myself, I apologize. So this is the Laputin Oracle published by Lo Scarabeo. I mentioned in my top tarot decks of 2023 video that if I was a tarot deck, I would be the Mind's Eye Tarot. And if I was an oracle deck, I would be the Laputin Oracle. Like, look at this. We match. So this is published by Lo Scarabeo. You know how I feel about them as a publishing company, but I will say this deck is elevated. For Lo Scarabeo, we've got some elevated quality here. First is the box. It's got this lovely textured cardstock, and it's not a white interior, so even though we don't have any fun designs, like at least we have a black interior. I'm always going to live for the aesthetic. And then we have this guidebook, which for a Lo Scarabeo deck, this is a nicer guidebook. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but at least we're not getting like a chintzy little booklet. And then the quality of the cardstock, I love these backings so much. The quality of this cardstock is also elevated from a typical Lo Scarabeo. Like, it's not that nasty, shiny cardstock that we're getting with like the Mausolea Oracle of Souls Oracle, or the Murder of Crows Tarot, the Santa Muerte Tarot, these beautiful decks that just have like the worst cardstock in the world. This is a little bit of an elevation. I would say this is similar to the cardstock that is used with the Magical Botanical Oracle. So I only purchased this a few weeks ago. So, I can maybe later down the road share with y'all if we get some warping, but so far so good. And then we still have this guidebook in multiple languages. So this is how much we're getting of the English language version. Okay, so it's not as thick as it looks at first glance, but at least there is one page for each card. And as long as this exists, I'm really happy when it comes to a guidebook. I hate when there's multiple card definitions on the same page. It's just, my brain does not like that. And I would say this is a deck that working with the guidebook in the beginning, I recommend the cards themselves don't have any keywords. Working with them intuitively could be a wonderful practice, but I think that there's something to be said about working for the guidebook with this one. The guidebook is written by Alice Mastroello. Perhaps that's how you pronounce her name. So let's dive into the card images. This deck does contain nudity, some adult themes. I am so obsessed with this artwork, probably my favorite artwork all time of an oracle deck. This was the first card I pulled. And, you know, in the guidebook author shares how this deck is really a journey of the archetype of the maiden and the maiden's encounter with the wolf. And this type of story and journey is one that I've always been very attracted to. My favorite movie growing up was like the Disney Beauty and the Beast. And then from there, I fell in love with Phantom of the Opera and the story of Cupid and Psyche. And these are the stories I have always loved. You know, the maiden meeting the beast and having that be some type of initiation. And, you know, with this deck, we're really talking about, you know, the loss of innocence, the journey of desire and temptation, and the knowing that comes with pleasure. I love this. I love this image so much. So far, I've just been using this as like a daily draw and journal type situation. Look at this. We see the girl with her witch hat and the wolf. And so this deck feels like a piece of me. It feels like I'm telling a story that I have probably been working with for many lifetimes. And you know, because I'm still very new to working with this deck, I'm struggling to really how to speak to it in like a more like objective, logical way, because to me this deck is like all feeling, and it feels like a part of me. I love this image so much. And you know, this journey of the journey that this deck illustrates is one that I have walked before and I'm very familiar with. And oh my God, you guys, I'm getting emotional. What is going on? And just like the journey of finding one's own power through a dance with one's own darkness and wildness. There's so many ways you could come at this story from a more archetypal framework. If we're talking about like a psycho-spiritual journey, this deck is definitely illustrating an element of that. And look at that. And it's just like, you know, I showed this to a friend and they described this deck as having like a more like anime feeling, which I can totally see. But just the colors and this is such an immersive worldview, and something I'm realizing as I make these videos is how much I appreciate when a deck has a world that you can, you know, really just immerse yourself into, a world that you can fall in love with and journey with for a time. And this would make an amazing tattoo, and maybe I will do that someday because I just love this image. Like, talk about Three of Swords, like talk about like the archetypal initiation of heartbreak and what that's like. So, you know, I'll save a few images for you too, but I have to show you this one. Okay, and I have to show you this next one. I'm just going to show you every image. I'm not even going to leave leave some for you because there's only 36 cards in this deck, and it is worth talking about. Oh, and here's another one of my favorites. And you know, wolves are one of my spirit guides, animal guides. One of my animal totems, and my last name is Wolf, and that's my real last name. So, you know, wolf and crow medicine is really like a part of my being. This one's so good. So that is the Laputin Oracle by Los Scarabeo. It is not on my Amazon wish list at the time I'm filming this, but I will make sure to put it on, or my Amazon storefront link, you know what I'm saying. I do make a small commission off of that. It's like pennies. So that's just really so that you have a place where you can find all the decks on this list that are available through mass distribution, mass market. Okay. This next oracle that I'm going to show you, I believe is an indie deck. So that was the Laputin Oracle. This is the Mushroom Oracle. This is the other oracle deck that I have just been loving, spending a lot of time with, obsessing over. I will say, I have not used this for clients, and I probably will not use this for clients, Laputin Oracle. First of all, the artwork, it might be a little too edgy. You know, I try to be mindful about the content of the decks I'm using. So another tarot deck I'm going to talk about, I also don't use for clients because the artwork might be too confronting. And also I like having some decks that I just have for myself. And this is so personal to me. This is so special to me that I want to keep it for myself. This I have been using with clients. So this is the Mushroom Oracle. It is published by Broccoli Magazine, I believe. I purchased this at Magic Fairy Candles, which is the shop I read at in Longmont, Colorado. I am the full-time reader there. It was the price of an indie deck. It has the feel of an indie deck. I want to say this retailed for like $48.48 in shop. So if you are local to Colorado, I know they still have decks available for purchase there. If you aren't local to Colorado, you're going to have to Google where to find this. I'm sure you can find some place to purchase it online, but it won't be Amazon, I'm guessing. So the artwork is by Bethany Van Rishwisik, and the guidebook is by Ellen Freeman. So, you know, why all these deck creators got names I can't pronounce. Okay, so this is the inside of the deck, like the inside of the box for the deck, I should say. Y'all, I'm an Aries Mercury in the words, and a Moon Mercury conjunction. So the words just tumble out of me, and half the time I'm 5 words ahead of the words coming out of my mouth, and it makes YouTube videos complicated. So this is the little guidebook. This is the other inside of the box. So like I'm a slut for a good box interior. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The card stock is nice, though I will say I have some little blemishes already. I don't know if you can see that. And that's because I've been using this deck for clients. So any deck I use for clients is going to get more wear and tear than a deck I'm just using for myself. We don't have any gilded edges or anything, but like this is a nice cardstock. This is the guidebook. And for each card, we are getting a reproduction of the image. This is all going to be on the card itself, and then just a little bit of info about the card. So this is a nice guidebook, but this is also a deck that you can just do intuitively. This is the kind of deck that I think is the perfect clarifier for tarot. And as I show you the images, you'll see. So I love the artwork here. I love a oracle deck where you are getting a title and a few keywords. Look at this. Because it lends itself really well to, like I said, being clarified for tarot, for giving me or my client like the main theme of the tarot spread that I am, interpreting for my client. And the artwork is stunning. Like this is, and it's all original artwork for the deck. Look at this. And I use this deck in conjunction with the Ritual Tarot, which I will show you in a minute. And did I give you a good look at the backings? It's just simple, but like this crimson burgundy. And, you know, this deck reminds me a lot of the Ritual Tarot, just in terms of just the feeling tone of the artwork, even though this is not a collage deck. Look at this. And just like the energy of this deck, the way that it kind of like hums, the vibration of it, the frequency of it. And like, mushrooms are super ancient magic. And so, you know, as somebody that loves working with like the plant spirit, the plant allies, especially in conjunction with decks, like I'm a big fan of the Magical Botanical Oracle and the Herbal Astrology Oracle. It has just felt like a really intuitive addition to my collection. And look at all these angels. And, you know, I purchased this because a friend who works at the store, works on a house, purchased it, and she was showing me her copy. And I don't know what I was expecting from this oracle. They've had it in shop for a while, but it was not this. And when I saw this, like, look at this. I knew that this was a special deck and I needed to have it. And I can see this being one that I work with for a very long time. And it's been really cool how it's shown up in my client readings. I started working with clients, like right out of the box. And look at this. Like it has this almost like pre-Raphaelite to like some of that like beautiful, like a Renaissance, like religious art. And like, look at this. Like this is so perfect in conjunction with the Ritual Tarot. And that's how I've been using it. And just like the colors, the richness, it's so lush and opulent and luxurious. And if you're a Taurus, or like I am, or if you just, you know, if you love a bougie deck, this would be one to add to your collection. And so this is the Mushroom Oracle. Your future is quietly growing underground is one of the taglines on the box. What will you find in the Enchanted Forest? So not quite to the extent of the Laputan Oracle, but I feel this deck also has like a really beautiful immersive worldview that you can get lost in, spend a lot of time in. And this deck almost has like fae energy to it. Like fae energy or like angelic energy, which angelic energy doesn't feel like super love and light to me. It feels like almost like intense, like too intense, too overpowering sometimes in how it comes across. It's so like all encompassing. It's so almost strange feeling. That's how I experience angelic energy. It's alien almost. And mushrooms are aliens, and this deck kind of has this like beautiful Renaissance alien feeling tone to it. It's cool. It's wacky. It's cool. So these are the two oracle decks I've been primarily working with for the month of December. The other oracle deck I've been spending a lot of time with is the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And she has been sitting on my altar, and I will do a daily draw, and then I will do like the healing exercise. I forget what she calls it. She calls it a ritual, which is just like a little energetic visualization. And that's been helping me ground back into my practice as I've been taking some time away. I will say, I didn't pull it out, but let me grab it. The other oracle deck I've been spending a lot of time with is the Mystique of Magdalene Oracle. Just using this to connect in with the energy of the Magdalene. And then I've been using this deck a lot in the collective readings for Instagram. I do as well. This deck comes out a lot for that, and I can channel really easily with this deck. And I feel like I'm channeling right from the Magdalene's mouth when I work with this deck. So, you know, these are two faces of the divine feminine that I feel very drawn to, that I work with the most. And these are just kind of staples in my collection. I'm working with these all of the time, and I'm working with them this month. And even when I'm not really in my practice, I'm working with these decks. Like I'll revisit these decks, you know, or, you know, just the journey I've walked with these decks is they're always going to be decks that I'm working with. And then I also have the Pocket Isis on my reading desk as well. So the energies of those decks are like working with them all year long, but particularly as I'm coming back in, grounding back into more of my devotional practice and my practice as like a priestess after spending some time away, really away. Those have been lovely, lovely old friends. And then there's two tarot decks that I've been really working with this month in my personal practice. Pulled out the Tarot of the Abyss a little bit, but I've been working with that a little bit. But I've been primarily working with these two decks. And these two decks are very similar than the Isis Oracle and the Mystique of Magdalene Oracle for me, in that I'm really working with them all the time. But they've been very special companions to connect with through December. And the first is the Ritual Tarot. I've been loving working with this deck in conjunction with the Mushroom Oracle. And this deck just feels like home to me. So spending time with this deck for myself lately has felt just exactly what I've been needing. And like I said, I usually have like 7, 8 tarot decks on my tarot table. And right now I only have this deck, the deck I'm about to show you, and then the Tarot of the Abyss. Because sometimes you just like want your best friends. You just want to hang out with your best friends. And that's kind of where I've been at. So, you know, this was my top tarot deck of 2023. I purchased it January 2023. So we've been on like a year-long journey together, and I've been working with it pretty much almost every day for the year. And then the last deck I've been working with is the Mary L Tarot. This is the other deck I said that the artwork is a little too confronting for me to use for clients. As you can tell, this is a very well-loved deck. I've had this deck for several years. This is one of my favorite tarot decks of all time. There's male nudity in this deck. So I've only used this deck to really read for a few clients, and this deck has a very special energy. What I consider myself on is a left-hand path of Christ consciousness. And this deck to me is the energy of the left-hand path of Christ consciousness. This is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, star card. And so, you know how I said like the Mushroom Oracle has kind of like a wacky, intense, alien, like deep, strange, beautiful energy to it? That is the Mary L Tarot. Like, you're just accessing something that's so beyond you and so divine that if it can feel kind of weird, for lack of a better way of describing it. Like, this is a direct line to some very powerful energies. At least that's how I feel when I work with the deck. And, you know, and like I said, I think I know it's connected to Christ consciousness. But then also, you know, Christ consciousness is not just love and light and being in the space of the heart. It's also, like, I think, a path of really integrating the shadow and going into the underworld. And we see that in the archetypal journey of Christ. And we see that in some of the Gnostic stories, like the journey of Sophia. And to me, this feels like it is the real Christ consciousness, not whitewashed religious Christ consciousness, but directly connected to the Gnostic texts. I love this devil. So I love this one. And she's been out to play, and also just she feels so right for like the winter months and for December. And she also gets along really well with the Mushroom Oracle, the Mariel Tarot. And I've also been using her with the Laputan Oracle, though I will say the Laputan Oracle and the Mind's Eye Tarot together are perfect. They are perfect mix. If I had the Mind's Eye Tarot out, I would show you. So those are been my December picks. It's really been me paring down and coming back into my practice. So just like the 4 decks that are my ride or dies, which is the Ritual Tarot, the Mariel Tarot, the Mystique of Magdalene, the Isis. And like I pull the Mystique of Magdalene for clients out sometimes, but it's mostly just for me in collective readings. The Isis Oracle is just for me. The Mariel Tarot is just for me. I've used it for a few very special clients. And then the Ritual Tarot I use in all my client readings and almost every day for myself. And then these 2 new oracles that have just come in that I'm just so loving spending time with, which is the Mushroom Oracle and the Laputan Oracle. So that's it. I hope you're well. Lovely to spend some time with you today, and I will see you soon.